That's it's not tea. There's nothing in that. It's just water. Literally just water, flavoured water. There's no additives, anything. Well, I might be bullshitting that. But there's not a lot in there.
Yeah, it's
we're
nice.
recording, by the way.
Yeah, cool.
I get bored of peppermint tea sometimes, but you go into Marks and Sparks, or in fact Lidl or Aldi anywhere, and they have a bunch of different flavours: raspberry and strawberry, mate, cranberry, and also just stay away from the ones that got ginger in them. Just like drinking mustard.
Yeah, it's just like a general rule of life, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's like what?
A general rule of life.
Do you
know what I mean?
Hey,
John
Beamson, pleasure having you in the studio. Cheers.
Mate, absolutely blown away to be here. And cheers. You've got your pint, I've got me H2O.
Well, you've got H2O, you've got peppermint tea, and you've got a Coke Zero.
I know. I'm going to end up in the car park shadowboxing later on, I think.
Fuck me, you were booming through.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Better than that than being quiet.
Oh, right, okay. Mate, I said to you before we started, 2 years ago I was driving a lorry listening to the HR podcast. 2 years later, I don't drive lorries and I'm on the fucking HR podcast. Hey,
You've made it, mate. Nothing else to do. You've achieved everything in life.
It's
That's
over.
It, retire now.
Job done. Consistency, that's the answer. We don't know what the question is, but that's the answer.
Well, what you were talking before we started. You had a debt, right? You're a bit manic at the moment, right? Traveling everywhere. You're basically riding the wave.
Yeah.
Go on. So what's going down,
mate? So about a week and a half ago, I put my notice in on my day job and said, "Big cigar. See you later, gents. I'm off to conquer the world." And I've just had event after event after event, and everything's just tied in where it's like, right, I'm going here, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm seeing him, I'm seeing her. And at the moment, honestly, I feel like if King Kong turned up, I'd be game. Like, I'd be like, oh yeah, I fucking, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, yeah, I'm fucking feeling good about myself. Right, where's me gum shield at? And I'd be out there scrapping. But like the old days back in Germany, mate, having a mix-up. I don't mean the ones from Woolworths either. So I'm proper like on that fucking cusp at the moment where it's just like batting constantly, mate, sixes every day. Fucking fastballs, bosh, out the fucking ground. So I'm chuffed.
What's the aim? What are you trying to achieve?
Well, the aim is this. I'm going to have the biggest adventure company in the UK. That's going to happen. I'm on that Genghis Khan journey, mate, but without the, slaughtering and all the other stuff that he used to do. Bit more level, but yeah, I'm coming for the lot. I'm a mad scientist when it comes to making events. I make events that test people. That's what I do. And if that's what you're about, then that's what I'm about. So we should really be best friends. Fair enough.
That's fair enough, mate. In a nutshell. What about so from what you took, the way you said that there, then you're not seeing other event organisations as competition necessarily?
Oh no, there's some great event companies. There really is, and there's a lot of them coming from the veteran-owned space. I don't see them as a competition, mate. I can't take every single fucking Tom, Dick and Harry out, but we can all work together. I work in hand with a load of other veteran-owned outdoor companies. I send work their way, they send it my way. I've had them come on my events, I go on their events. Like, there's a lot of symbiosis, and I do the same with the civvies as well, like civvy companies. I just believe, mate, if you've got a big cock, it doesn't matter who else has got one. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're confident in what you do and you're there, then you're not worried about what the guy left and the guy right's doing, because you're like, well, I know I'm good. So I'm cool being in that space. I just don't see... Competition's good because it keeps you going forward. It makes you think, oh, he's doing some good stuff there. I'll have to just... And it keeps pushing. If you just average all the time, there's no growth, is there? Do you know what I mean? If you were the only veteran podcast, you may not raise your game. You might not be getting more cameras. You might think, well, I'm top boy anyway, aren't I? But you've said, oh, I'm getting more cameras and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's forcing you to think, don't sit around waiting too long, because that person, they're planning their podcast. And it's all right being on top of the mountain now, but someone's coming for that title, mate. That's how I think. Like, I do exactly what it says on the tin, mate. Ron Sealman. Fucking have been since about 2002. And when I'm out there training in the hills, I know there's someone fucking training for my title. And that's fine, because that's the motivator. That's what's keeping me going need to do a bit more, need to work a bit harder, need to keep pushing forward. Time is one thing, we all get old, but, you know, you just have to keep on going. And I put it out there all the time, Hugh, like, I've got an event called Shot at the Title, right? It's called Shot at the Title. And I know that I'm fucking the kiddie when it comes to fucking speed marching, and that's a bold claim, but I've just said it, and it's fucking fact. And that event is there, and anyone who wants to come and get it, they can come and get it.
That's a very bold claim.
There we go.
Very bold claim.
Fucking rounds down range, mate.
Go on.
The fucking
So-
flag's up. So basically,
Back it up.
It's the first one's going to be on the 12th of June, and it's going to be the Yorkshire Three Peaks, best effort, carrying 10 kilos or 22 pound. We're going to go off in a relay, staggered file, and you just got to go for it.
How can we choosing £22, not like the minimum?
Because I don't want trail runners coming, because it takes like, it takes
No,
that.
I mean, why not heavier, like the £35?
Or because I want to sort of keep it at a level where a lot of people, if I made it too heavy, it's not really that inclusive, is it? And already I've got women saying to me, I'm game for this, like.
So you're not necessarily pushing it as a do what the military do.
No, I'm not interested in that. There's loads of people in that space, and they can have that space. I don't run.
I see. I thought you were doing that. I didn't realise.
No, I'm not. I'm not coming for that title. I'm not coming for like ex-military dude. Like Robustours draws on things from the military, but it's not like let's fucking get our C4 on and let's go and do webbing and all that. It's just I don't wear military kit. Are we good? Yeah,
Fucking booming through, mate.
I thought you.
No sound. Go on.
I thought you were coming across the
I'm
table.
just pulling the microphone off. Switching
no,
it
I
off.
don't-
Your microphone's off, John.
There's plenty of companies doing that, mate, and they can have that space. I'm not interested in that. Like, I'm doing it in a slightly different way. And I think, and as well, Hugh, I don't want to encourage people to carry ridiculous weight for no reason. We had a reason in the forces why we carried weight, because if we had to go and fight and carry what we had to carry, then there's reason to it. But Sarah, who works in Greg's, why does she need to carry like 45 pound? For what reason?
So why carry any weight at all?
Well, to keep it competitive, so I don't have trail runners coming in clean fatigue.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? So everyone's starting with the same weight, and what I'm saying is, it's 22 pound going out, it's 22 pound coming back in. So, people are going to have to carry their own food and water. So everyone's at the same level. So it's just a way, because some trail runners may come in clean fatigue, and if I'm carrying all my hiking gear, then naturally they are going to be faster than me because they're going to run it. But if you put that weight on them, that weight might just be the leveler to bring them back down a little bit.
So it's £22 plus food and water.
Push film water, yeah.
Understood.
And then what we do is we have a jack wagon, aka safety wagon, sort of where we can halfway around, where there'll be water, nutty, isotonics, some safety, some med cover. So there's that element of it. So there's a little bit of sort of like, if someone needs to restock or someone's having a problem, they can go there and it's job done. And then they can crack on.
Let's get back to your bold claim.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're the
I
top-
do it.
top dog
I
at-
do it.
top dog- Go on.
I do this every day, mate. Like every day I'm out doing howling distances. My Strava is fucking up there, legendary, right? Right? So I don't dine out on what I fucking did. I dine out on what I fucking do. And on Friday I did 50k in 10 hours on the fucking nose, right? And that was carrying my 22 pound. That's self-nav, self-supported. We're not going round a loop fucking track, which everyone does. We're doing things properly. When you're navving it yourself, you're adminning yourself, it's all part of it. None of this fucking waymarked, turn left ear bullshit. We're talking the real deal. We're talking real pressure. You know what I'm saying? And we go on to escape the lakes, but we're using a proper training area. We're not using, toy town training areas where we can practice our life away. We're using a bit of the unknown. So I back it up, mate. I've done 50 milers. I've done 24-hour hiking challenges. Last year I just did 120,000 steps in a day. I've done the Goggins. I've done all the edges and ledges in the Lake District in under 12 hours. You know, I go up and down mountains like people go up and down Asda to get the bread. It's what I do. It's what I do, mate, and I'm really fucking comfortable at being really fucking uncomfortable. And that is a direct quote from the man Goggins. But it is what it is, mate. It's a bold claim, but I back it up because where are we at today? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, doing the Snowdonia Horseshoe. I'll fucking piss all over that. Never done it before, but top nav, top fizz, top mindset. It'll get flashed. And then I'll be in Wales a bit longer because I'm going to recce Escape Snowdonia for next year. Method to the madness, mate.
You should set up a masters, extreme events running masters event where all the people who run the events all go head to head.
Yeah, well,
like when black belts fight each other.
Yeah. Well, obviously,
See, as the king of the mountain then.
yeah, mate. I've got the title. I've got the belt. It's there. Come and take it from me. Come and take the title. It's here. And by the way, the prize money is 250 quid. So if you win 250 quid. And if you win, you get to come back on the next one for free to see if you can hold on to the title. You got to put real pressure on it. You got to put some real spin on it. Like, that 250 quid's my money, by the way. You're taking food out of my fucking fridge. Do you think I'm going to let that happen? Nope. And
So you do the event as well?
you're fucking right, I do. I'm the fucking...
You do the event to
Yeah.
try and beat the competitors?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You can't not be the run sale man, mate, and not fucking do what you said you were going to. Do you know what I mean? You got to do it. You got to turn up. I turn up with a big fucking cigar. Right? Who's fucking here? Because I'm here.
Combat cigar.
Combat cigar. Yeah.
Combat cigars, mate.
Combat cigars. Combat cigars.
Just drop that.
Combat cigars. Get in touch. Absolutely. And that's at the very extreme end. But I also, Hugh, I also love seeing people come from being here to there and having, you know, a lot of success. Like, I've helped a lot of people. I helped the lass climb her first ever mountain a few months ago, and it was fucking unbelievable. For her and for me, it was just an amazing experience because she'd never been up a mountain before.
What was the backstory?
You know, she's lost a lot of weight. She's had confidence problems, all that sort of horrible stuff. And she's got into personal development. She's got around the right people. And then she just said, I'd really like to climb a mountain, John. I said, we'll fucking get it cracked. And it was her Everest, mate. Like, she fucking gave everything to get up that mountain, and she did it. And then we got down, and she said, what's higher than this? And I said, fucking hell, let's do it. So she's, for her birthday, she's doing Scarfell Pike for her birthday. And that, you know, there's that side of it, Hugh. There's people really making a lot of changes in their lives and wanting to push themselves 10, 15% more. And I'm all for that. And I help people do that.
Well, it's accomplishment, right? And in those situations, there are people who really find it hard to push themselves.
Yep.
And so they need to be they need to be pushed by someone else. But once that trigger is pulled and they get pushed by someone else and experience, for example, climbing a mountain for the first time, then they motivate themselves. They've made a life change. They've achieved something they didn't think was possible at all. And they've changed their mindset. They've changed their outlook on life. They changed what they thought they were capable of now. What they think they're capable of now is as far surpassed what they thought they were capable of beforehand. You're right, mate. It's a life-changing experience for people. But this is why I like events like yours, things like the Wolf Run, all the Civ Pop stuff, the Wolf Run, nuclear races, and all stuff like that, because they're events where people quite often get pulled into them as part of a group of friends going to do it for a charitable cause or for some other reason, and they end up going out, especially, like the Wolf Run is one of those, as an example of just because I've been there, experienced that. My missus did it with her friends. And they get pulled into it, maybe they don't want to do it, and like fucking this, they get motivated to go and maybe do a bit of training beforehand, and they do it, and they've achieved something, they've got a fucking medal run it. And it is hard. The event, these are not easy. I see where you're coming from, absolutely. It's, there's two angles to it. It's helping people who could do with help and are willing to go and just put themselves in a bit of discomfort and then find it fucking incredible. And it's also enabling people to who are already motivated to go and to push themselves to the max. It's something that's a little bit different that they don't really understand.
There's a big Instagram's great, right? But there's a lot of fucking big time Charlies on it, and I sent Escape the Lakes to people who I thought, yeah, this would be right up their street, and they didn't want anything to do with it. And I thought, fucking hell, like, how can that even be? I've got people doing this event, you know, just normal everyday people, and I'm like, this has been set at a level where if you're from, you don't even have to be ex-forces, you can just be someone who likes a fucking tasty day out. And the lack of confidence that I've seen from so-called big players makes me know that fucking hell, there's a lot of people bullshitting here. There's a lot of people can't do what they say they do, and unless they're in their own bracket and they're doing what they know, they can't back it up, and they're frightened to fucking come somewhere new and think, fucking hell, who's this guy? Am I going to get dusted? And I'm shocked. I've sent it to all the big Instagrammers. Oh, sorry, mate, my nana's died. What? Oh, you know that already? It's fucking, event's not for 3 months. Oh, yeah, I know, yeah, but so-and-so. And you're like, do you know what I mean? All the excuses. It gets embarrassing. I would rather you just say, not for me, that, mate. Nah, not my cup of tea. All right, fair enough. But it's the excuses that people make, and I've been really shocked because I see their Instagram posts and I think, fucking hell, they're getting after it, aren't they? And then you send them something, and it's every excuse under the sun, and you think, fucking hell, what's going on here? They just don't want it. And
yeah,
do you know where I think it comes from?
Yeah,
I feel like it's if they don't do well, they'll have to do the first honest post they've ever done in their life, where they're going to have to say, fucking hell, guys, I fell short here. We've become unable to hold our hands up and say, fucking tried, guys, but I fell short. I went caving on Saturday. I've been getting fucking beasted. I've been beasting myself because I didn't like it. But I put myself in the position and I did what I said I would do. I turned up, I did everything they threw at me, and I said afterwards, thanks, guys, I'll be in touch. When? Keep you posted. But I'd done it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I know what you mean, but also, you know, it's not always going to be. I reading between the lines, and it's not that unwillingness to engage with what you're doing or take part in it is like that. One aspect could be that, depending on who you're talking about.
Yeah,
and I don't want to know.
No, I'm not going to.
And
be a snake.
And that could be one aspect. There's other aspects to it as well, though. Like you're saying, that is a very you were potentially encroaching into a very protected space, or what people see as a very protected space.
Yeah.
And so you've also got the element of people may not want to be involved just because they don't want to be associated with it because of other things or people they're associated with.
Yeah.
You know, but going back, the way I see things like this is, it's actually a lesson I learned from a fucking jeweller in Stratford-upon-Avon, not far from here.
Oh.
Yeah, and the jeweller's on a little street, and walked in there, and I was going in to look at some bespoke like brooch thing for a company that asked me to look at, doing for them randomly, and there was a jeweller's opening up the opposite side of the street to this jeweller's, and I said, "Fucking hell, mate, that's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it?" And the guy said, "No, not really." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because that's like the third jeweller's opening the street now. There's one up the road." And he said, what that jeweller's is bringing is more people will come to this street for jewellery. That means there's more footfall on this street because of that. My competition is opening up across the road. So it's better for all of us because that's opening it up. You get more people come to Stratford to go to that street with 3 jewellers on. I thought, fucking hell, what a brilliant way to look at it. And it's the same in that you look at wolf runs and nuclear races and all that.
Yeah.
People want to tick every single box. Yeah, I've done wolf run, I've done nuclear races, I've done that. They each attract more people to their space. Yeah. Coffee, another example. I was talking to Neil earlier from Explorer Coffees, you know, and it's that loads of veteran-owned coffees out there now, and people want to tick the boxes.
Yeah, they want to
tick the boxes. I've owned Green Beret Coffee, Explorer Coffee, flipping Hidden Warriors Coffee over there, you know, Contact Coffee, you name it. I've owned most of those coffees. I haven't owned them all. I've owned most of them now, you know, and that's not because of a lack of loyalty to one particular brand. It's because I like the. Well, I'm off the coffee now, but
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
was drinking the coffee,
Yeah.
I want to tick the boxes.
Yeah, yeah, fair
People want to collect the fucking badges, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a generally it's a good thing. I think it's a bit closed-minded to see competition wholly as bad and definitely not to engage. And another area I've seen that positive business sort of mindset on competition is in the surveillance and private investigation industry with a company called Argus Europe I trained with.
Yeah.
And Nick McCarthy at the head of those guys, he's exactly the same. The security industry and surveillance and private investigation industry is cutthroat. They're fucking wankers, right? I hate that industry, generally speaking. But then you get companies like Nick's, Argus Europe, you get companies like All Seeing Surveillance, you get any other companies that are in that group of, I see them as a group, other people don't see them as a group. There's a group of very trustworthy, very honest companies. And I would go to any one of them. They have the competition of each other in many ways. In other ways, they're not. But they attract business to each other because they're honest. If I was to go to Argus Europe as a client who didn't know Argus Europe and said, Argus, I need this. I need you to do this service for me. And Argus said, we can't do that. They wouldn't say we can't do that and that's it. They would say, we can't do it, but go and try these guys. And it's the same thing. The sort of that positive outlook attracts people to you. And, I suppose maybe in that space you're in now, man, it's going to be a challenge because it's military space. It's also you encroaching on the SF space.
Yeah.
You are perceived to be encroaching on the SF space. You've got to think about the egos that are involved.
Yeah,
how competitive we all are. Extremely competitive. You can't deny it. And that is,
100%.
it's a huge challenge.
I mean,
where does the drive come from, mate? Where does your fucking energy come from? Because you're a wild man.
Because I was gash, mate, 4 years ago.
What do you mean?
I was just shit. I was unmotivated. I was probably 10 kilos heavier than I was now. I had a shit transition from the military. It was everyone's fault but my own. The world owed me a favour. And when I finally put that ego to one side and I started like having a bit of personal development and listening to people, I started unlocking boxes. You know what I mean? And now I'm just a super driven guy. And I just want to get as many people as I can out and realise that we get one fucking shot at the title, which is life, and you've got to make the most of it. And it doesn't matter if I'm hanging out, whatever level you're hanging out, it's the same level. Because no matter if you're mega unfit or mega fit, if you're pushing hard, you're hanging out. It's just different levels of like where you are in the pack. But there's this sort of thing at the moment where people want to be like, or they want to be inside themselves all the time, or maybe next week, or maybe the week after. None of that's guaranteed. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to make the most of your life, and you've got to not be fucking afraid of being in a bit of discomfort and a bit of fucking pain or a bit of fear or whatever it may be. You need to just think, this is it. This is the one crack at the life I'm having, and I need to make it the best as I possibly can. And that's where my drive comes from, because I've created a community. Robustours is a community of people who just fucking say, yeah, what time's it starting? See you in the car park. Do you want to know any details? Don't matter. Fucking got me sandwiches, boots fit, mail's getting through. And I love it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love that mentality. Doesn't matter what the challenge is, see you in a front car park. And like, I've passed that on to people, and from that, subgroups have created from my own group. And I love it when I get tagged in a post on Instagram and it's 4 people who met on my event who didn't know each other before that, and then they found each other, and now they're like, oh, we're off to do this and we're off to do that. I take great pride and great sort of like, get on, fucking nice one. Friend of mine, Chrissy, she's off down to do the Jurassic coastline next week, and I just said, you probably win it, mate, because you be fucking tasty as fuck. You've done loads of my events. You're just a different animal than everybody else who'll turn up on the line. And I was like, I reckon you'll win it. She's like, yeah, I fucking think I'll win it as well. I was like,
when's that event?
Get on, next weekend. Jurassic coastline.
What caused the change in your mentality? Because it's pretty extreme now, as in positive extreme.
100%, mate. I just got rid of the war it's me attitude. I just got rid of the like, yeah, but I was in the army and I did Afghan, so everyone owes me a fucking turn. And then when I quickly realised that, oh no one owes you a turn. There's opportunity here, but you've got to work for it. being in the forces will open, maybe he's open one or two doors, or maybe he's get you listened to a little bit. But you've got to have substance to it. You've got to have passion behind it. You've got to have the qualifications. You've got to have your own credibility. And knocked the boozing on the head, mate. Changed my sort of friend circle. Got into different things.
When did you realise? When did you realise you needed to change?
Mate, I went on everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? So I was trucking, Yorkie bars, caps and all that. Breaker 1-1 and all that, smoking the bandit territory. And I got a friend of mine said, "Oh, we've had someone drop out on the National Three Peaks. You used to be in the army, like that's the fucking precursor for everything. Well, that means I can just do everything. The bus is already paid, you just have to pay the price of the event." And I was like, yeah, go on then, mate. And best thing I ever did, mate. Turned up with my old army boots on, Northern Ireland patrol sack, worst bags in the world, and just dined out on what I used to do. Hung out my ass, got butchered by a load of fucking accountants and civvies. Do you know what, mate? When you get humbled or embarrassed, whatever word you want to use, is a fucking lot to be said for it, mate. There's a lot to be said, and I just thought, I can't keep up with these lads, but I will not be last. I will not be last. And the guy who ran the event, coming down sort of Scarfell Pike, I said to him, "What is it you do for a living, mate?" Because I just thought like he did this on a weekend as like for whatever. And he's like, "I do this," and I was like, how's this? What is this? And he said, "Look, give us a ring, dude, next week, and we'll have a chat." And he probably gets that question every week. You know what I mean? Duty fucking all in bloke coming down Scarfell Pike. Fucking mega. And he never gets the phone call. But with me, he got the phone call. And I just was like a sponge ever since then. And like, I got bought a Fitbit for my birthday, right? I was like, steps and that. I was like, oh, fucking hell, 10,000 steps. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. And I just got addicted to steps. So I was like, can't go out on Friday night. I'm off to do 80,000 steps on Saturday. Sorry, lads, can't come out now. I'm doing 80,000 steps. And I just got addicted to like, how far can it go? To a funny story, you like this, 100,000 steps, right? So I got to a point where I was like 60, 70,000 steps. And I was like, right, how far can this actually go? So did me old, how many steps can you do? And it was 100,000. And it was 100,000 according to Fitbit. And then that's it. I was like, right, fucking game on, 100,000. So, as you do, find myself 50 mile set of real estate. Found that. North Yorkshire Moors. See you later, said to Zero Charlie. See you later, I'm off to go and crack 100,000 steps. Got about 90,000 steps in it, mate. Went blind in my left eye. Pissed myself and collapsed on the fucking hilltop. Failed. Stand up, sit down, fail. Fucking hell. Had to phone me mate. "Come on, guys, mate, I'm in shit state. I can't see out my left eye."
What happened?
Well, just exhaustion, I think, mate.
How far did you go?
I got about 92,000 steps in, which was about 41, 42 mile-ish.
What prep did you do?
None. I was in the army, wasn't I? Fucking 85. So I just fucking cracked it. No, I'd got into hiking by then, but I'd not done enough to be able to go and do an unsupported 50 miler. Do you know what I mean? Like, ran out of all bad admin, all on me, feet were in shit state, ran out of water, didn't have any food left, was on fucking boilies. Like, it was bad times. It was a bad day of Black Rock, mate, honestly. And like, I was mooching and I was thinking, fucking hell, everything's like getting hard. Like, basic tasks are now getting hard. My head torch was dying. I knew it was dying. And I thought, oh yeah, but changing batteries on head torch is dead hard, isn't it? Because you're monging it. Yeah, you're there, aren't you?
That's severe.
Yeah.
That's severe. You think about how little energy it takes to take the head touch off your head
Yeah.
and change
the batteries. That's where I was at.
And that is an incredible task.
And I was
Man,
like,
I haven't felt like that for a long time.
So I knew I was in a bad state. And then with my left eye, I was like, my long-term vision's starting to like, things are looking a bit blurry. And then it just got closer and closer and closer to where like my vision was just fucking blurry. And I was like, well, God gave us two eyes anyway, didn't he? So I'll just fucking crack on. Right eye job. And then like, this is how bad it got. I was like, I need a piss. Couldn't even my fingers, my dexterity had gone. I couldn't do my button. Couldn't do my button or my strap on my belt. So I just thought, fuck it.
Where were you at this point?
North Yorkshire Moors.
Well, what altitude?
Oh, it wasn't high. Maybe it's like 200 metres along the coast.
But oh right.
But I was like 40 plus miles in, and I was just like, oh well, I'll just fucking lie in this grass here then, and just fucking like took a knee.
Jesus.
I'd had someone turn up, like a runner turn up, and was like, fucking hell mate, you all right? And I was like, no. Honest answer, no, I'm not all right. I think I fucking overextended myself. But what came from that was learning that sort of distance is dangerous to not do it properly. So now when I run that as an event, I have support staff. So I didn't fuel up properly and I didn't have enough hydration. So I rectified it and I learned from my mistakes. And now it's a fucking little funny story that I tell to people. Because when people ask me about that event, I'll go, oh, it's a funny story for you. When I did it for the first time, I went blind in one eye and I pissed myself. And that is a very, very brutal story to tell. John, who works in boys on the till, because he's like, okay, no, it's bad enough doing it. Hit on a Friday night down the gym for half an hour. Where does that go to? But
well, it's the importance of prep, right?
yeah, but it's learning. Do you know what I mean? Like, but again, I was prepared to go to that point because I was driven, maybe wrongly driven, because I could have done long-term damage. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've talked about this before. Like David Goggins is a legend. Right? He is a legend, but sometimes the Goggins. You sometimes need protecting from the Goggins mindset because you can hurt your body too much because you push, and you can get to a point where you can do irreversible damage where you think, oh, I'm just going to crack on. And maybe you break something or maybe you affect the internal workings of your system and then there's no coming back from it. When I did the Goggins 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, like that was a great challenge. But after that, I didn't run for 2 weeks because my fucking hip burst, it's like
That's a really good point.
Seeing out my fucking aliens.
Yeah.
My knees were hurting. And, you know, it's good to push yourself. It's good to have a Goggins mindset, but sometimes, you know, you need that self-care as well. You need that, like, am I now doing detrimental long-term damage to myself? Or am I looking for lad points or likes on Instagram because I want to be dead Ali and fucking...
It's a good point on that, is that you can get caught in the trap of especially people who aren't accustomed to physical hardship or mental hardship or ever have been. So you can easily think, so couch potato can easily think because they're watching a motivational video or whatever, like, I'm going to go out and smash 10 miles tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even just walking it, when they haven't walked a fucking mile, right? So that isn't the target you want to be setting yourself, really, for what you're saying there, because you'll injure yourself, 100%. I'll give you an example in a minute from my own. But you want to be aiming for, so even like people who are listening and watching this, and they exist. It's like couch potatoes, used to serve, used to fucking smash out 10 miles on the Friday morning, a 50 miler, fucking whatever, and be fine. And now they haven't done anything for 5, 10 years, 15 years. And I had the same mindset at one point with tabbing. I didn't go tabbing for ages. And I thought, oh, could you go? I'm not going to do any of it because I want to do a 10 miler. Because anything less is bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to do a 2 miler in fucking 14, 15 minutes. Anything else is bullshit. That's not the case. All you want to be doing is getting off and doing more than what you're doing now. And that's the achievement. Couch potato, get off the couch and go and do more than what you're doing now. You're not going to be able to run 5 miles tomorrow, but you know what you can do? Yeah. Maybe you can walk a mile. Did you do that yesterday? Have you done that in the last 5 years? No, you fucking haven't. So go and walk a fucking mile today. And then tomorrow, see how you feel. And then target the next little one up. It's a good point about the long-term injury, right? I used to smash out the fizz. I was fit as fucking as we all are, right?
Yeah.
And especially on tabbing fitness. And then a few years ago, I decided to raise some money for my kids' football team, and it was a piece of piss, right? It was going to be a 40-mile tab with 0 weight. Okay, 40 miles, 0 weight. I've done 50 miles with 50 pounds, right? 40 miles with 0 weight is fuck all. And that's not me saying, no, I did 50 miles with 50 pounds. Well, look at me. And when you compare that to SF sessions, fucking cheers, nothing, right? But the point is, I can do that quite easily with weight. 40 miles is nothing. Mate, I got it. I went out running about 2.5 months before, I sprained my ankle really badly. I couldn't do any training. The week before that 40 miler, I cycled 10 miles of the route because the 5 miles out, 5 miles in, I wasn't sure of.
Yeah, yeah.
Cycled it. I got on that 40 miler, got around it. I was in agony at the end, but did it. Okay, and did it not a drama. When I got in, I could hardly fucking walk. All the pain at my feet, just at natural hot spots. And
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right. The shit sick next day, but as he would be with no fucking training for it whatsoever. As I had tab for the best part of 6 years. But every morning for the next 6, 7, 8 months after that, every morning I get out of bed and I've been agony in my right foot. Only for about a minute or two. My right foot was fucked. I didn't injure it on the tap. It was merely a case of my muscles were not used to doing that distance at all. Bearing in mind I was regularly running up until 6 weeks before. Regularly running. I'm really active because they weren't used to... all we do is walking, man. Walking 40 miles. 6, 7, 8 months after, my right foot was agony every time I got up. I couldn't put any weight on it. And when you think I'm a person who is generally super active, who was really used to running and tabbing with weight 2, 3, 4 times a week when I was serving, and that happened to me. And you go and think about, like you're saying, people that are lack of prep. You need to build yourself up,
Yep.
but not being able to do something in like 5 or 10 miles, whatever you want to aspire to get to do, not being able to do that straight away is an inhibitor to you doing anything at all. Anything at all. Target more than what you're doing now. It's all it has to be, more than what you're doing now. And that's an achievement. And then the next time you're going to do something, target more than what you did last time. And all of a sudden you'll find yourself be able to run 2 miles, 5 miles. Then you're doing, before you know it, you're running 10 miles and you're fucking loving life and you've lost weight, or you're running, whatever it is, press ups. Oh, pull ups. Pull ups are classic. I want to bang out 20 or 30 pull ups in a time. Well, good luck doing that. Because if you're not willing to start at just achieving 1 today, or 2 today, or 3 today, and tomorrow, then you're going to achieve nothing. I went on a right rant there. Anyway, go on.
No, mate, it's true. And like, people come to me and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I wanna come on this, or I wanna come on that." And if I don't know them, I'll say, I'm honest with people. Like, I'm not here just to take people's money and just watch them fail. I'll say, that's a fucking hard event, that, mate. Tell us a bit about what you've done, and don't tell me that you're in the army fucking 10 years ago, because so was I, and it's not fucking relevant. And they'll say, I've done the Yorkshire Three Peaks, I've done this and I've done that, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we've got something to work with then. But I'm more prepared. I'm more prepared to go out with people and build them up. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I go out with people who are fucking strong, so I know where I am in the pack. Do you know what I mean? And I look at certain people and I think, fucking, like, machine. And one thing I'd say about hiking, tabbing, jumping, whatever you want to call it, is it kind of suits many body types. You can be a bit of a combat pig, can't you? You can carry a bit of weight, but fucking monster hills, like, it's not out of fashion. Like, it suits people really well. It's not high impact. It's not bad on the joints. It's great for sort of fresh air. It's great for clearing thoughts. It's a great way to build a community. It's all of these things. And I think wherever we live in the UK, there's somewhere to go in there. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to, if you're from down south, you don't have to spend a fortune going to the Lake District. There's plenty around you. In lockdown, I created like 4 or 5 routes locally to us. And I said to people who are coming on events with me, there's 5 routes for you to do. There's the 10k, there's a 15k, there's a 20k, and there's a 25k. I suggest we all just start at that fucking 10k, 15k marker before we just think, fucking 25k, £60. No. Don't do that, because you'll fucking hurt something. And forget lad points. It's not relevant. You know what I mean? Build up to something. And I think that's, again, it's the inner I'm very competitive, mate. Like, I am. But I'm very competitive against myself. Like, I'm not where I want to be at the moment. I can tell stories, but I had 2 businesses, and I'm starting to see IC, and I had a full-time job, and my dad's fucking dying of Parkinson's disease. So mix all of this together, and my time is fucking non-existent. Hence why I go to the gym at 4 in the morning, because if I don't go at 4, I ain't going, because I don't have the time. 24 hours in a day, mate. Yeah, I know all that, mate. Yeah, but I need to sleep 6 of them. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to get it done, Hugh. Like, I know all of the fucking most motivational things. I've watched the Arnie speeches. I know it all. But lockdowns, as of today, things have changed. And now it's time to get back in the groove. And I love Strava because Strava tracks like certain sections. And just recently, I took 2 fucking titles off 2 lads, and I post all over social saying, "Yeah, cheers, Gary. Fucking better luck next time, fella."
Segments. You know about segments.
Yeah, the segments. And I hope Gary's out there now training. I hope he's got a picture of me in his room with a dartboard and he's throwing darts at my face because I'm throwing them at his face. And I'm sure when he gets to the segment back, I'll be like, "Okay, oh, Gary's dusted me there. Right, back at it. That's good." But I wouldn't say to anybody, "Come on, let's go for it," without knowing their ability. But as well, I do this thing. Maybe you've heard of it, but we used to have this PTI in my regiment, right? And he used to always go, "Right, Judd's fucking 10-minute microwave," and it was never 10 minutes, but you just get fucking disastered for 10 minutes. So you like go from standing start cold, and then you're like, combat jacket around your eyeballs and all that, and you're hanging out. So I've created my own version of it. So we'll come to like a decent incline or a bank, and I'll get them all together and I'll say, "Right, gents, fucking microwave. It's best effort, 10 minutes. If I don't see you putting it in, we come back down and we fucking go again. Hands up if you don't think I'm serious."
Just repetitions, right?
Yeah, and all we do is I get them in line and I just say, "Right, first man or woman, your fucking mission here is not to get caught. Second man or woman, catch the fucking person in front. If you don't catch him, you're fucking coming back down." And I just make it a competition. And I do it over and over and I say, and I'm going at the back and I'll tell you now, I'm fucking catching every one of you. Every one of you is getting caught. Now, do I catch everyone? No, because people get fucking 200-300 metres head start. But they're like, "Fucking hell, John's coming." So it makes everybody graft. I'm grafting because I'm going to try and catch as many as I can. And then we get to the top and I'm like, "How'd everyone find that?" And there's people like, "Oh, you know." But normal hiking companies, mate, they don't do that. And there'll be people out. I've been out where people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "We're just going to beast ourselves on this hill." Why? Why not? Yeah, but won't you be like, "Yeah, well, no one will fucking die, mate. Like, we're just gonna test ourselves a bit. It's cool. We all fancy a fucking chocolate eclair at the end, so we're gonna put a bit more graft in to fucking have it." And they love it. Like, I now get people sending me Insta videos saying, "Doing fucking relays, coming for Beamson's title." I fucking love it, mate. I love it. It gets me up. It fucking gets me. I'm like, yes, someone's coming for it. I fucking love it because it makes me go, "Where's that alarm at? Get up 15 minutes early tomorrow. Do my reply video. Fucking have that."
Who did you serve with?
Royal Artillery. I went to Germany. Fucking loved it. AS90. All I ever wanted to do, mate, was drive a tank, right?
AS90 is the tank with the big
Fucking
barrel
gun.
in it.
Yeah. So
Joking, sorry.
no, so like, I wanted to join the tanks, right? But I was a bit mince, so I dropped in under the barrier for the Royal Tank Regiment. But I went Royal Artillery, but I'm glad I did because I had a fucking great time in the Royal Artillery. It's a fucking great bunch. And they were like, "You can do AS90," and I was like, "What's that?" And they showed me. I was like, "Fuck yeah, now look at that. It's like a tank on juice." Do you know what I mean? It's fucking mega. And went through basic, went through phase 2, and they're like, "Who wants to go Germany?" Yep, and off I went, straight to a field regiment. Fucking loved it, man. True to the blue, all the way. That's all I ever wanted to be. Fucking.
What time? When was this?
2001. I got posted to Germany 2001. So I actually got in. I got in a Northern Ireland tour, which was fucking awesome. I went to Londonderry. That's why when you've had people on from that time period, I've really enjoyed listening because obviously when it was a tour, like all of that, Chaz, I'm part of that history. Do you know what I mean? Even though my tour was just a much, but I felt at the time I was like, "Fucking hell, I'm patrolling around Londonderry with, rounds in the magazine. Like, fucking hell, this is it. I'm doing what it says on the tin. Driving around in snatchers and all of that stuff. Doing a bit of public order, getting filled in by the Green Howards. It was it was class, and it was a great experience being in Germany because no one went home. No one went home. We were all a family. Every battery had its own individual identity. There's fucking so many characters, like just bonkers amount of people who just had, bigger than Ben Hur, like some of them. Every single person, every battery had like duty funny bloke, duty serious bloke, like, and it was just a great laugh. And Northern Ireland, Kenya, Canada, Up fresco. Did you do up fresco?
Fucking right, I did.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell. We was in what a run. Driving around Newcastle and the Goddesses. Fucking mental, wasn't it? Up fresco. We got sent to Otterburn. Cheers. And then we got
Tell people what al fresco was. Who don't?
up fresco was the fireman strikes 2003.
Two. End of 2002 before the Iraq War.
Yeah, and it was just like, right, guys, the firemen are going on strike. We're now not soldiers. We're going to go and be firemen. We're going to get trained. We're getting posted to places around Newcastle. You'll be working out at TA centres or relevant. And yeah, we're going to go give that a crack.
With what equipment?
The Green Goddess.
Green Goddess.
Green Goddess, what was it, 27 mile an hour or something? It was like
27 mile an hour. So, yeah, for people listening and watching, it was like, British Army got deployed, as John says, to backfill the firemen who was, or the fire service who was striking. But we couldn't use like much of their equipment, if any.
No.
So HM forces broke out these things called the Green Goddesses, which were fire engines from 50s, 60s, 60s.
Old.
Like green things, super old, super slow. We're talking like 40 mile an hour slow. Like they just, and they had their firefighting equipment was and without exaggeration was a glorified water hose. 100%. It was like a water hose, right? Like you get in your back garden, a little bit thicker, with a big brass thing on the end with a big lever. Fuck me. I remember when that was going on, Three Power's accommodation store in Hyderabad Barracks in Colchester caught fire, mate. And we had we're talking some mattresses in a port cabin, mate. 4 Green Goddesses around this thing. 4 fire engines around this thing.
Yeah.
Could they put it out?
No.
Could they fuck? Green Goddesses, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mental.
But
that was mental.
As a BFB, as a Germany-based unit, we got to come back to Newcastle now. 4th Reg Royal Artillery was in the North East Gunners, so we were all back in our own, Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Darlington. So we were all basically, it was a tour of home. So everyone was like, "Yay!" And when it came to the end, everyone was like, "Ooh!" And then we went from there, and we did. We went to Northern Ireland, and got put into Londonderry, and we just did, patrols on standby for public order. We sort of closed out that barracks, but there was guys who I served with who had done like, I'd probably say more tastier tours, like early 90s, late 80s sort of thing, and they were all like, "Oh, this is shit, I want to go to Iraq." Careful what you wish for, because things have got a habit of coming around. And then from there, I got sort of dragged into going to 2-9, 2-9 Commando. I wanted a few more LSA days. Trying to do a specialist course when your heart's not in it, even though you're physically fit, you fucking quickly get found out. Like, I got a lot from it, but I was never really into it. Like, I didn't want it bad enough, and if you don't want it bad enough, once it really gets rotten, and it will, you'll be like, any chance of getting back on that plane? But again, the mindset comes from some of the people down there who I met. I learnt loads from them. They were great soldiers, working with the sort of army commando guys and learning from, the way they did things, like, added to like my mentality and the people that I used to come across. And there's a guy there called Gaz Hayes who used to run the All Arms Commando course for 2-9, and his mindset was fucking just big cigar, bring on the next test. Like, doesn't matter what it is. Like, and I've like incorporated that, and like to a point where like at one point I fucking idolized the guy because I just thought he was that like untouchable. I was like, nothing phases the guy. He fucking run through walls, and like I've adopted his mindset, and then from there, it didn't work out. Like I said, I wasn't. Once it got sticky, I was like, any chance of going Catterick? So I ended up in 5 Reg Royal Artillery, which again was a great regiment, but being based in the UK, everyone fucking bugs out all the time. Naffy break, people are going home. Naffy break, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not the same camaraderie. But I ended up going to Iraq for half a tour, battle casualty replacement. Fucking hell, Iraq was an interesting place, wasn't it?
What tour was that?
2000, let's get this right, 2006, 7. IDF was a fucking thing. Like, IDF, like, fucking hell, like building your own coffin around your bed and eating your scoff on the fucking floor all the time because you knew, oh, well, they know we have scoff at 6, so guess what's going to be happening in about fucking 2 minutes. Ooh, fucking hell. And like, I'd never experienced anything like that before. Quite lucky at that point. But like, IDF was fucking no joke, was it? Like, IDF's fucking serious because it's just like landing them around. And I feel like the military, like, I use humour now to get over adversity, and like, that's where it's come from. That dark, like, someone like trying to crack jokes, you know what I mean? Oh, what time's the IDF starting? As you're taking a volley of fucking 40 rockets.
It's to avoid. It's to avoid. I think it's to avoid the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's like people are aware of it. IDF as an example.
Yeah.
Or a death as an example. Someone's just been killed. It's to avoid the elephant in the room. It's there. You're conscious of it. There's not awkwardness, but there's maybe concern, maybe awkwardness, maybe like fear, maybe, and it's to offset that. Is what it is, definitely.
But it was the beat up course for what was coming. Herrick 8 was fucking serious to her.
2008.
Yeah.
Eric 8 in 2008, wasn't it? I was on that as well.
Yeah.
Where were you?
So we deployed not as a battery strength, but as a section sort of strength, section plus, and we had a piece of equipment which we were being given, which detects mortar fire. So counter.
What was that called? Remind me, I know what you're on about.
Yeah, lightweight counter mortar radar.
Yeah, and little things you used to stick it on the wall of the compound.
Yeah, yeah.
We had three arms.
It was like a door. It was like a dome, and it sat into a cover. And we landed in theatre, and we did like RSOI.
It would detect it going up, wouldn't it? And then calculate the trajectory and let you know where it's going to land.
Yeah, and give you. So basically, we got the tour. We did our handover with a battery ripping out. Me and a lad called Mike Jones, legend. We ended up on a fucking heli, and we ended up on a MOG with 3 para for Hutal. Hutal was the place in, was it Zabul province? And we ended up on we ended up occupying a compound for a long period of time, and then we did like this massive road move back to Bastion. But we was in a compound, and like when we got there, fucking hell, these two fucking lunatics. Like, helicopter landed, fucking these two, and even though it was lightweight, it had about 40 boxes, mate. They needed like a section plus to move it, and like everyone was like, "Who are these two fucking lunatics?" Like no one did even like, you know, as it classic British military planning. Just turned up. All right, guys, help you. Yeah, we've got the mortar radar. Like that. Fucking hell, right? Sound. Welcome to the party. You're on stag in 10 minutes. Yeah, I fucking figured that much. But once we sort of explained it, obviously it's a great fucking asset, isn't it? If you can quickly locate where your mortar fire or rocket fire is coming from, that's an asset, isn't it? And especially like from the rivals, from the counter fires guys, like the mortars and all that sort of guys, are like, well, we can just give you the grid of where it's come from. And they're like, oh, okay, now best mate. You want a boilie? And because like we were just a normal artillery unit, so there was no animosity. Do you know what I mean? There was no animosity. We just fucking sort of integrated with the hive. Do you know what I mean? It was not like, fucking hell, who are these guys? No, just two fucking normal green army blokes. All right, sound. Like, so that was good because, you know, turning up to like.
As opposed to what? Just on that. As opposed to what?
Like,
what would be different? Why would it be different?
Because like they would say our artillery cap badges, and people were like, "Fucking the 7 power these lads," and I had to like seven RHA. Sorry,
Jesus
Christ. That's what's happened to you. This is what, and
I see what you're saying.
do you know what I mean? Because people would think, like I know there's like.
Was the 7 RHA cap badge different to the RA cap badge?
No, but they would just see our flashes.
DZ, yeah.
So they wouldn't see because we didn't have berries, did we? So they just saw the DZ and was like, obviously maybe all they knew was fucking. And I knew there was a bit of animosity, friendly banter, whatever you want to call it. I knew that, you know, paratroopers and parachuters was a thing, right? So I was like, no, mate, I'm just a normal field artillery unit. Oh yeah, Biscuit Brown's in there, mate.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is on the ground. I mean, I understand that what you're saying, absolutely. But also the reality is that when, as you experience there, completely get embedded into it.
Yeah.
When you're on the ground, when you're on an ops, it's a different kettle of fish. You are an asset to us. When I say you, I say like you as an attached arm.
Yeah.
Are an asset to us me
As a
3 para
battalion, yeah, yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
unit, and that's how we treated it. But but that often gets lost in the stories.
Well,
And
listen-
people have a misconception
So-
of how we are. I think that's definitely right. But then back in the UK, it's a different.
Then like
kettle of fish.
I'd heard the dits like leaving Bastion like, oh, you're off to work with free power, and then like this duty bloke who worked with free power whenever, and he's like, oh fucking hell mate, you got filled in when you get off the alley, and like you get all these like bullshit stories, but you're already on hyper attention because you're like, fuck me, I'm in Afghan, and now I'm off to go and work with like whoever it is, whatever battalion it is, because it's not your norm. So already you're thinking, fucking hell, are they gonna, all you want to do is your job and do it properly and be safe and make sure you don't fuck up. And then like someone had said to us, yeah, just make sure that you tell them that you're not, that you're just a normal field artillery and won't be a fucking drama.
Fucking irrelevant.
I know, but it's like as like a young lad deploying as a lance jack. Mate, I was on 3 para fucking orders. Is that lance jack? And they're like, any points, fella? And I've got a pencil. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a bit fucking intimidating as a young lance jack.
Yeah.
No, it's no points, no. And then we went there, we did that, back to Bastion, and then we went to Kajaki, mate. And like, that was, I think it was
That was a
2 para.
That was a turbine move.
Yeah, two. We went there with 2 para in situ when we went there, and again, like we turned up, and it was just like I could almost see the difference in the battalions. Actually, I'd heard about the difference, but I definitely felt the difference. And the funny story was when we were setting up the LCMR on top of like, obviously I don't know what company it was, but like one young Tom had come out and he'd gone, "What's that, mate? Aircon?" I was like, "Yeah, mate, Army Aircon unit. See ya." Squared away. Yeah. Army Aircon, and he's like, "Oh, nice one. I'll tell the blokes."
Yeah, they are different. They are very different.
And
I didn't even realise that myself until I spent some time with 1 para throughout my sort of midway through my career, if you want to call it a career, and we were just different. They were different as we were different to them. I'd not spent much time with 2 para, and then towards the tail end of my career, I spent time with 2 para, and again they were as different as this 1 para, which was but that's not like para red centric. I think that's the same with pretty much any unit. Any unit.
Yeah.
But people don't realise it. Such a difference. The main was just cultural difference.
Yeah.
Little things like the way you address people, what you have to call different ranks, the way you have to act around. Again, mostly around that sort of hierarchy, the way how you what's acceptable, how is acceptable to act, or what words is okay to say.
I mean, as well, I got to sort of I work with some really like, because we were always attached arms. I got to work with a lot of different units. So like some units, I always found the Scots regiments were fucking rigid. Like even on ops, we went to
apart from CDTs.
I just oh yeah, but like we did God, what was the name of that fucking shit checkpoint? Some shit checkpoint overlooking a bridge, down near Fob Dwyer. It'll come to me. But there was one of the Highland regiments were in there, and like literally we got a visit from duty fucking colonel coming down to see everyone's morale's getting on, and mate, we were scruffy. Like we had 2 litres of water a day, and then I got
Where were you?
So it was down near
Afghan.
So it was
2 litres of water a day.
That's what in this we had a checkpoint, and that's what we fucking had to ration on. And
were you going out on?
No, we were
just in.
2
litres a day.
No,
It
was fucking savage, mate.
Jesus Christ.
It was fucking savage, and
why was there such a low amount of water?
We were in like a fairly remote checkpoint. There was only 4 of us, and we had to fucking say to people, we're not washing clothes. That's not a fucking thing. It's drinking water. It's rationed. We had like bottled water, and then we just had to put fucking requests in all the time. And if people were passing as they were coming past, they'd drop it off for us. But you know what it's like, mate. Sometimes it was a bit There was 4 of us, mate. I was like, there was 4 of us in this tower, and there was like Afghan police on the front gate, and I was like, fucking hell, this is absolutely sketch city, this. And I remember when I got the sort of like oh yeah, you know, when you rip in and rip out of places as like an attached arm, you're going in to replace someone who's going an R&R. And when I got there and I got the brief, I was like, how many of us are here? He's like, oh, there's 4 of us. So when I leave, you'll be the 4th man. And I was like, what, to man a checkpoint for fucking 24 hours? Yeah. It's like, oh, this will be fucking interesting. And it was an ad, but everyone was having that to it, mate. There was no duty blocks just fucking playing dominoes anywhere. Like, everyone was grafting. But I was glad to leave there, mate.
We had guys doing that. Listen to this. We had guys doing that in on Herrick 13. I think Graham Groves listened to this. Well, the guy used to serve it. He's still serving actually, and it was his. I'm sure it was his platoon, and they were split between three checkpoints, but permanently, 4s and 5s, mate. Like, what the fuck? That's just grim. I think it's just. It's a weird situation to be in those small. I've done it at times. I never did it that small for any period of time in Afghan. Like that's that repetition of you're basically on stag or on rest, right? Constantly for a long time. I did actually do it in Afghan with 4 of us on the first tour in 2006, and we had a little sniper sanger. And for I think we only did it. I think it was 2 weeks, maybe 12 days, right? And it's vividly stuck in my memory. There was no, on that 12 days, right? It was early on the tour, there was no contact. No contact happened when we were there, but it still vividly sticks in my memory. Because there was 5 of us, that's right. And 5 of us were having to man the sanger 24 hours a day for 12 days. And people think, oh, that's Bakshi. It fucking isn't Bakshi.
No,
it fucking isn't Bakshi. You have one person in there every, for what, an hour or 2 hours in the day. But at night time, you have to double up. So you are constantly in, you have to be in a constant state of alert in the sanger. You have to be in a constant, and then when you come off, you have to try and get your head down. And when you get your head down, you may get, in the daytime, you may get 3 hours, right? Because you've got to factor in, you've got to scoff, you've got to hydrate and get your head down. In the night time, you're getting 1 or 2 hours because you're doubling up. You do that for 12 days. It's like the combination of that complete mess about of your bodily system, whatever you call that system of your...
Cadence.
what is it?
Is it called the Acadian rhythm?
The Acadian rhythm, that.
Yeah.
Then you factor in, there's nothing else going on. It's a complete mind fuck. You're not seeing anyone, you're not speaking to anyone apart from a couple of minutes on the handover, and then you got to maybe 10 minutes or so in the room where you're dossing, but you want to get your head down then. And then all the other stuff that gets added on, all the admin, the stuff the Sergeant Major wants you to do, all the other, because there's everyone else in the base, absolute mind fuck. It's incredibly hard just to stag on. I think people don't realise that. Just stagging on is a nightmare.
And there's stagging on, and then there's stagging on properly.
Well,
which is another thing.
I was assuming you'd be stagging on properly, but no, yeah,
But
you're right.
like,
yeah.
there's stagging on and doing what you're supposed to do and be fucking in the zone and being that guy. You've almost got to be like the nosy neighbour, like twitching the fucking curtains, like, because the moment you don't do that, the moment you're not that into it, and I'm not talking about sleeping on stag, I'm just talking about maybe you're thinking how shit this is, or maybe you're thinking about like, oh, when I go on R&R, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That's when it fucking goes wrong. And like, we were overwatching, and like, there was no one there that wasn't 100% like, guys, what we're doing here is we're having eyes on this fucking vulnerable point, and if we fuck this up, they're putting a fucking ID in that fucking vulnerable point, and it's fucking on us, because we should have constant fucking eyes on that every fucking second of the day. And like, that pressure as well, like, there's fucking real pressure there. And then you get like duty visit come down and they're like, Bombardier, fucking haircut there. Where at? Where? Yeah, well, there's no bloke got any shears. Shears? Have you seen this place? Like, we've got, we don't even have security because we've got the AMP on the front gate, and at any one moment, the Dushka could get spun around and we're getting taken incoming, because you had that to think about. Like, are they truly, is everyone kosher? You didn't know? Like, and there was a few times where we were like, okay, now this is proper dodgy, but people didn't. Afghan, like, I always say that Robustours was born in Afghan because that was the most fucking robust place I'd ever been to. And talk about like pressure, that place was pressure.
What was your most difficult experience out there that you can remember? Oh, not out there, because Iraq was fucking. In fact, all the places was fucking hard. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of perception and the times you were there, right? Because Iraq was fucking crazy town at one point,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
several points.
uh,
But we just didn't happen to be there, and Afghan happened to be going on at the same time and overshadowed it.
yeah.
I mean, but go on. So,
I think like I tell you what snapped me once, right? When I come back from that op with 3 para, for some reason we just didn't get any mail for fucking like 12 weeks, right? And we'll go back to our own little fucking battery lines, and military humour. Sam Edge at the time went, "Oh, Beamson," and I was like, ah, "Fucking nice one. Give that to Jones." And that just, mate, I fucking threw the table, lost it, fucking snapped, kicked the fucking door off the hinges, called him a cunt.
had he been in camp for a while?
He,
Fucking exactly.
and he
Fucking
wasn't
exactly.
like he was a good bloke. To be fair to him, he was a good bloke. But that just, I don't know why, it just assaulted me, and I was like, and literally he came after me. He was like, "Whoa, whoa, fucking calm down. Your mail's here." And he was like, "Everything all right?" I was like, "I'm off to see the Padre. If he's not in, I'm going to fucking smash the place up." But like, I came back off Herrick 8, classic British Army. You're going on your fucking log level 3, DOS bags and bin bags. All right. End of tour early. Renf. All right. Cheers. Back to the Catterick. I've gone from this, pressure cooker, and now I'm sat in my mum's house. All the time in the world, all the money, in, like, you've saved a bit of dosh. What you got to do? Go for a run in the morning. You're like, aren't you? Like a fucking pressure cooker. And like mate, I was always looking for a scrap. And like, it was not even a case of like, I'm going to scrap and win. I was afraid not to scrap because I'd built this like, let's fucking have a scrap. Got filled in all the time. It's not good. Do you know what I mean? There was just, yeah, end of tour, see you later. Like, I didn't get any fucking like package where it was like, is that the best course of action? Yeah, his log starts Monday. Yeah, but can we not, like, how many people came back not prepped to come back? We're going to go Cyprus, play some beach volleyball, comedians coming on, have 10 cans, everyone's green light apart from the CEO, and then we're on the coaches back to the Bryce. And
You can't really prep for it.
Yeah,
I remember when we came back with that first one, right? It wasn't even entertainment. We got this is because it was just an unknown. It introduced this form of this decompression. They called it for 40 hours decompression, right? And for people not aware of that or any of it, and it more changed over time. Like you were talking there about, you had some form of entertainment. When we got there, it must have been one of the early ones. It was obviously one of the early ones in 06. And we were the third or fourth group through. I was last out of 3 para and that because of the fucking Musakala shit. And we got taken into the camp. I can't remember what camp it was. Like rows of tables and chairs outside, like barbecue style. There was a barbecue.
Yeah.
There was someone serving beers. You couldn't leave it. Couldn't leave the camp. It was literally let these guys get hammered. It descended into carnage. And when I say carnage, it was like a fucking almighty scrap. There was maybe 12 Power Edge lads, and we'd come back with the Royal Irish. Everyone, it was like 60 or 70 Royal Irish. I went nuclear. It went fucking nuclear. I remember someone cracking me around the head with a ladle, split my eye right open, fucking ladle. Mate, it was just shit getting launched everywhere. And all the staff did, they just stood back and just let it happen. Like, this is decompression. They're getting out of the system. No. I refer to that time as recompression.
Yeah.
It's like you're just magnifying things. It's supposed to be a reintegration back into civ pop life.
Yeah.
Do not stick us all in together with all this alcohol just to compound whatever frustration or whatever. It's not the way to prep us, because the reality, as you were saying there, 24 hours later, we're stepping off on the plane to Bryce, and most of us are going straight on leave. It's mental. We had the next morning. We had a time on the beach in the morning. We were all fucked. We were all fucking minging fucked.
Yeah.
Madness. But I mean, on that, you can't prep for it, John. It has to be I don't know how they do it now. I hope this way. Now it needs to be now I would think it would be, or something along the lines of, you come back and it's a staged reintegration into civil life. I remember there was one of the companies came back. No, I tell you a lie, it wasn't 3 Power, it was Royal Irish. And 3 Power, we came back when I leave. And the Royal Irish, as I recall, they their first thing back in the UK, they stayed in camp. They weren't allowed to go home on leave, and they went out. I think they had 5 days hill walking with their OC within the company, and that was a good move. A good in hindsight, we're like, what the fuck? They can't even go on leave. But in hindsight, is that okay? Gently back. This is normal life now. You're back in this. I think that was a good move.
And if you were in that environment and your CO or OC comes on and says, "Right guys, this is the deal. No one's going home. Everyone's like, fucking signing off. Fucking shit this." But like short term, you're fuming. But like for like long term,
well, you don't know the positive benefits of it unless you can compare it to the negative benefits, and you can't. That's not possible, right? You can only like from me talking about. Mate, that was probably the hardest thing. Probably that year in between that just after that first tour.
yeah.
Mate, I was just a different. I became a completely different person.
Yeah.
I was a different person before that tour and after, and it's not all because of the tour.
No.
It's partly because of the complete culture shock. I had gone, as many of us do on those kind of operations, I had gone straight in. You just change your mindset, change your outlook on everything, and everything you thought you understood about the way the world is and what your values are and what matters in life completely changes. It completely changes, all to be focused on what keeps you alive in Afghan, and you're completely zoned in on that for however long you're there for, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're there for 2 months on the front line and the rest not. It doesn't matter. Once your perception of it changes like that, when you come back to the world isn't the same place as when you left it. It's completely different, and you have to learn all again. But everyone else thinks you're the same, and you're not.
And you're not. And then like I did my leave, and I went to Belize. I got posted to Belize, and like the greatest post ever, admin NCO on St George's Quay. Like I was just like, it's January the 3rd. I'm now signing for powerboats. Like this is nuts. I'm DOS bags and bin bags, and I'm cutting around in blue shorts, red t-shirt, and army issue trainers, and that's and a baseball cap and a set of issue like sunglasses. And I was just like, this is unbelievable. But I had a very, very like big chip on my shoulder, and it come to a head a few times because like we would get other units, and I think like Herrick 8, not that many units had gone through the Herricks yet. Like they were coming, but they hadn't gone through them yet. I think 6 was the first? Was 6 or 5 the first?
Herrick 4 was the first.
Herrick 4.
2006, yeah.
Right, okay. So, like, not that many units had gone through. And I remember being a Lance Jack being quite chopsy. And, like, we had an exped come to go and dive the blue hole in Belize, which I was like, and I couldn't believe it. And they came from, like, an RAF unit. And my job was to make sure there was enough like DOS bags and bin bags and 24-hour rations for this exped, which I'd done. And I remember like a flight sergeant saying, yeah, that's not acceptable. We're going to take fresh. And I was like, it's acceptable in Afghan. And he was like, we're not in Afghan. And I said, do you want me to draw your fucking picture like? Because I was still there, Hugh. Do you know what I mean? Like I was still like, he's like, listen here, corporal. And I was like, I'm not a corporal, I'm a bombardier. Corporal's a fucking punishment. Because I was like just looking for it, do you know what I mean? Like, go on, one more thing and we're rolling around on the floor. Because I was like, this bloke's in fucking Afghan, digging out blind on rations. And you can't go and fucking dive a blue hole because there's fucking corned beef ash. It's like, you're a fucking shitbag. And like, my, do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't understand his problem. He's got fucking red Fanta. Who the fuck has red Fanta? But like looking back on it, it's different experiences, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's come here, he thinks he's getting all this fresh food, and they're going to have a barbecue and beers. And I've gone, yeah, fucking Roger, 24-hour rations. Like the big ones, do you know what I mean? No, not good enough. Not good enough.
10-man wrap.
10-man wrap packs, not good enough, Corporal. Stand by, fucking auto layers coming on your chin in a minute if we fucking get this going. And like, Belize was great for me because actually that was my like decompression, because I was that far away from the Green Army. Belize was like weird. Did you ever go like anything jungle train or anything?
Yeah, I did jungle. Yeah, Uganda. Yeah.
It was like Belize itself was just like, is this even the army? Is this even a thing anymore? Like By the time I come back,
Belize, no, Uganda was different. We were straight in the
yeah,
jungle
like
and not.
St George's Key, mate,
Because
was
Belize has got a lot of downtime, right?
yeah, like Belize. What my job was, I lived on St George's Key, which was a tiny key, a few mile off the coast of Belize itself, and like I answered to really nobody. Like as long as like what I had to do got done, no one bothered me, and it was just like 6 months of like living the dream, back to the unit. And at that time, I'd only ever done a tour, and then it was like, yeah, that tour is finished now, and you won't be going again. And then when I got back, fancy another crack at Herrick? Not really. Well, it's a fucking great story, Bombardier Beamson, but guess where you'll be in the summer? And that was it for me, mate.
Signed off.
That was it. Like, I went there, did that tour, and that time, like, I think things had got as inevitably. The army had gone there and like sideburns, twisters, cuts. Like it had gone really like regimented. And when I got to Bastion, I didn't recognise the place. And then even out in like, I was lucky I got posted with the Danes for the first 3 months, and that was a good, Budwan used to be called Armadillo. It was kinetic. Like the Danes were fucking having it, but we were doing base protection with ALCMRs and stuff, so we didn't see any of that. But like. Used to get like emails come through. Can you just make sure your address is up to play? And I was like, is this the big issues that we're dealing with right now? Like I get it, and it came from that thing, didn't it? Of seeing, isn't it something to do with someone made a comment about you look like soldiers in Vietnam, like a defeated army, looking scruffy and tacky. Is there like some sort of? I'd heard like that's
I don't know
why
where
I've
it came
gone
from,
rigid.
but I don't know where it came from. But I mean, there's. In my mind, those things is two reasons why you start clamping down on stuff like fucking sideburns and the way you look and all that when you're on operation. And it's either because there's a discipline issue, and so that is part of the way you pull people back on track. Now, from my experience, because I experienced the same as you, even within 3 power on that, especially on it was on the third time out in Harry 13, that started happening there. But it wasn't a discipline issue. It's more to do with when that stuff happens for no apparent reason. It's more to do with some fucking personality coming in, deciding to make their mark, or X, Y, or Z, some yes man, as opposed to the people's soldier kind of thing. That's on that side. Then what was the other thing you mentioned? The sideburns and all that, and then there was something else you mentioned.
A comment was made about a defeated army, wasn't it? Like us looking scruffy, and a reference to like Vietnam soldiers, and that's why. That's the bit I heard.
That's the one reason is discipline, and then the second reason is, what was the second reason? I can't remember why you would do that. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, public perception. PR.
Yeah,
it's what you're looking like on the front on the papers. Are the media now looking at taking a photo of some dude who's just come off a fucking 6-hour patrol, who's got a beard, and he does look scruffy, but scruffiness is an indication of
professionalism,
like, uncleanliness or professionalism.
Yeah.
It can be a lot of the time. Other times it's not. But if the media then look at picking up on that and using it as a media tool to make it, troops are tired and all that, which is probably thinking about it, the more likely scenario in this is come from the top. Make sure you look on fucking point all the time, so we're not looking ragged. It's probably that. It is actually thinking about it. Probably that.
So,
yeah.
Do you know, Hugh, I got asked a question not so long ago about what did I think of the Taliban, and I said I respect the fuck out of them. They're the hardest people I've ever fought. I was like, we had the kit, and they had flip-flops and an AK, and they were just so robust, and they were just like, personally, mate, I respect them.
They
Like,
were an advantage the whole time. No,
it's home field advantage, but like, they were just relentless. Like, I don't know what basic training they went through, but like, they really were like a relentless force. I just thought like, this is their thing, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, how are they this robust? Like, every single unit, yeah, we probably won the engagements, but long term, they just seem to grind the they grind like the effort down, didn't
they? But that's the advantage of an insurgency, and the disadvantage of being of operating counterinsurgency is that they know all of the resources at their disposal. They know the land, they know the language, they know the culture. They don't have to have extensive logistical supply chains. They don't. I always go back to. As the campaign, in terms of like you talk about the way they can maneuver and the kind of tactics they were able to employ, we completely, and we do it every fucking campaign, we completely stifle ourselves. We completely inhibit ourselves in our ability to maneuver because of the kit and equipment we laid ourselves down with, largely due to public perception, largely due to the PR. Again,
Yeah.
the way we were able to operate in the 2006 tour, fuck man, I would do that now. I would have done that in Herrick 13. We were in a lights combat body armor, basically like a in inverted commas flak jacket for Civ Pop listening, a little plate over your chest in front, like hardly any weight.
Yeah.
We were belt kit, right? We would go in and operate. It got into one point in the tour, and the CO Tootle said it's at the commander's discretion whether you even wear body armor or not. So we would go in, we would get off the helis, we jump off, we take our body armor off, and we put it in a pile. And then we go in, and we would just be clean fatigue, John.
Quick
Day
and light.
sack. Yeah, exactly. Quick and light, because the reality is you're fighting people in fucking flip-flops, an AK-47 and some magazines. They can move like lightning. And we were able to move, not like lightning, but pretty quick, right? And as the tour went on and the casualty went up and the PR and the Taliban changed their tactics more to, because they were getting fucking thrashed and small arms engagements. They changed the tactics to more to IEDs and that kind of warfare, right? Indirect, action, and the PR and the public support started to wane. Then the focus became on minimize casualties, right? No, minimize deaths. Minimize serious casualties. What happens then? Fuck loads of body armor.
ECM
fuck
blue.
loads of kit. Well, ECM we had to have that kind of idea, but fuck loads of shit, and you become less maneuverable. And one calculation is extremely difficult. You'll never be able to work out is how many lives were lost because we had the extra weight. How many lives were lost because we couldn't maneuver as fast, and the Taliban were able to maneuver units because they could move faster because you got 30 fucking blokes wearing 60 pounds of body armor, or whatever it is, 30 pounds of body armor plus everything else. You can't calculate that, but it's an absolute fact. Lives were lost because we were slower. We were no longer like a fucking lizard cutting about trying to capture the fucking snake. I don't even know that's this analogy. We became a tortoise. We became a tortoise, shitloads of armor, but not very good at outmaneuvering the enemy. And you become you become a reactive force as opposed to a proactive force.
And there must be, if you go back in history, that'll have played out time and time again. Like
Iraq, fucking happened in Iraq.
Yeah. I'm like, if you go back to sort of like the Greeks, the Romans, heavy cavalry, like all of this stuff where people start putting on more, but then they're losing these big engagements. They're losing overall, and you're right. Like we become so immobile, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? Like the Mastiff, great bit of kit for protecting, yeah, but as an actual fighting vehicle, it was slow, it was massive, and it was just a big bullet magnet, wasn't it? And what was that designed to do? It was designed to protect troops from bad PR because of our vehicles aren't very good because the people are dying in back of snatchers and Wimics and stuff, and then all the Under Armour stuff comes on, and you're right, you're slow, and then before you know it, you're hardly really moving, are you? And then if you can't take ground, you can't win a war, can you? And if you can't, you're just a complete stalemate. And I think if you get to that point, that's where it's like advantage home team, innit? And eventually your government, your PR will eventually grind out and they'll be like, why are we still here? Oh yeah, let's spin it. But that was Afghan was a fucking hell. I'll never forget Afghan. I'm sure anyone who ever went there and did stuff will be the same as well. And I look back at it with fond memories. Good and bad, but as an experience, it's definitely forged me to where I am now. Like I draw back on it when everything's getting hard. I think it's not as hard as Eric 8 though, is it? Let's fucking power on. And like I say it fucking about it, a lot of people know me say when they go, oh, this is hard, and I'll just say, should try fighting the Taliban, mate. And like that's my experience.
So we're not gonna.
No, I think it's coming from the side.
On that happy note, mate, we need to start wrapping it up.
Yeah. No.
Right, how do people get and follow what you're doing and your courses and your challenges and all that?
So Robustours, Instagram, FaceUV, John Beamson.
ROBUST.
Yeah, I'll give you just one T, so it's Robust T Tours. So, and then John Beamson on LinkedIn, same again, all the W dots, robustours.com. Sort of on TikTok, but sort of don't know if I like it enough. It's a bit full on in it, and and just book on and come and see it. Do you know what I mean? I'm excited to meet loads of new people. The title's fucking there. I've got a belt. I've got a legitimate fucking heavyweight championship belt, and I'm not handing it off to anyone. So anyone who's listening who's got a bit about them, just don't tell me how tasty you are. Come and fucking show me how tasty you are, and that's that. And Hugh, it's been a pleasure coming on the show, mate. And you've got a great podcast, a great setup, and you're doing loads for the community, mate. And I wish you all the best, and keep on taking over the world.
Cheers, dude. Appreciate it. As are you, mate. Keep doing the do. Fucking keep smashing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Cheers, mate.
Just keep spending that energy. Fucking got enough of it.